Guys, welcome to Linguamarina. As you might have noticed, I've just come back from a vacation, so I feel really energized, really to create more content for you, ready to share what I know about English with you, and share how English is improving my life every single day. Because remember, English is your instrument that helps you achieve your goals. English is not your end goal. It's just something that empowers you to see the world, to explore the world, and bring your expertise to people from different places across the world. And by the way, I was traveling. I went to Guatemala, I went to Honduras, I went to Panama, I went to Mexico, and I went to Belize. And everywhere I came, I got DMS for you guys saying, "Oh Marina, you are in my country." And this is the most exciting thing. And every time I get a DM like that, I thank my English language for that, because my English is actually helping me connect with you guys. If you are watching from one of those countries, let me know in comments down below. I fell in love with every single country. I really like Panama, just because I didn't expect it to be so wow, all the high rise. It was really beautiful, so beautiful. I've already mentioned some countries where I've been to Honduras, and you're wondering maybe why I didn't say it. So today we are going to talk about those preposition. I'm going to share some rules that people used to determine which preposition to use. So if you are ready, let's start. Let's do it. Today we are going to talk about the most common preposition at, in, and on. So let's do a quick quiz. He lives 13 Long Street, and you have to select either in, on, or at. I visited my grandma on and at a hospital. I like traveling to in at a train. Now you're gonna get the right answer at the end of this video, but make sure you write your answer down. If you can, check yourself later. Now let's talk about some rules. The first rule is when we use at. At is used with a very exact place, thing, small, building, like something that is small. You will always use at in the door, at in the hospital, at school, at the university, at the table, at the door. So something specific will always be at. But when you're thinking about big things like, I don't know, Panama or Guatemala or St. Petersburg or London, you will never say at, because only applies to smaller things. And London, Panama, Guatemala, those hook geographical location. So you can be at London, you're in London. Yeah, but I am at the desk, I'm at home, I'm at my studio, I am at the bus stop, and etc. We use on with street and avenues. I live on Park Avenue, I live on Green Street. So on is always with the street, but please remember there are always exceptions. Like if you are talking about university and you are talking about campus, you say I live in campus. Campus is the location where you have your dorms, you have your classes, you have your restaurants, cafeterias, and other. So on campus would be an expression but normally on is only used with street. Now, when we are talking about the street, there is nothing to remember. When we have a number, then we use at. I live at 13 Green Street, at 45 Dunstan Street. But when we don't have a number, like I'm asking you where you are right now, and you are answering I am a Market Street, you don't give me a number and then use on Green Street. So at is used when we give the full address, street number, etc. On is when we just mention it, the stream, and when we talk something bigger than the street, we use the proposition in. For example, you have different parts of town. We are having lunch in Chinatown, or we are having lunch in Nob Hill. This is like a district here in San Francisco with cities. As I already mentioned it, I live in London, I live in New York. You live in New York. We have been in New York for 2 weeks. We are in Los Altos Hills with status. I live in California with part of countries. My friends spend vacation in the south of India with countries. I used to live in Russia with continents. My sister is in Africa. So to sum things up, we use at with specific location, on with less specific location like streets, and in with bigger location like cities, town, countries, part of countries. Now let's move a little further with our preposition. I gave you some basic rules, but now we are gonna explore more example. In is also used when we are talk about an enclosed space, something that has a roof, something as walls in a car, in a box, in a building. I am waiting for you in my car. Can you please help me find a pen in this box? Don't put your wallet in a pocket. Now listen carefully right now. We are moving to on, and we use on with a bus, on a bus. And you might ask, Marina, but why in a car but on a bus? Wait a minute, I'm gonna explain. The other words that we use on with are words that represent surface, like this table is a surface. On the table, your floor is a surface. On a floor, wall behind me is also surface. On the wall, we also use on when we talk about left and right. On the left, on the right, next to or along the side of a river. For example, Cambridge is on the river Cam. Now interesting part, why in a car but on a bus. And it's used with means of transportation where you can stand up. Oh my god, English, you're so complicated. Oh, so you can't stand up in the car, so you say in a car. You can't stand up in a helicopter, but you can stand up on an airplane. So on an airplane, in a helicopter, on a bus, in a car, in a taxi, because you can't spend off in a taxi. I know guys, this is why I recommended having something like a grammar book, so you can refer to things, or at least have a script of this video in front of your eyes. On a ship, on a boat, on a plane, on a train. We use on with a means of transport where we can stand up. We can stand up on the plane, we can stand up on the bus, we can stand up on the boat. And also maybe another hint, we use on with a means of transportation where there is no roof. On a horse, on the boat. Boat doesn't have a roof. Normally you can have both, but on a boat, so normally you don't have a roof on top of you when you are on the upper deck. On the bike, you can really stand up on the bike, but it does not have a roof, so it's on a bike. Another thing that can be super confusing for you guys, sometimes you hear in a hospital and sometimes you hear at a hospital. Both of those are grammatically correct, but guess what? They have a different meaning. So when you are saying I am in a hospital, that means you are patient, you are actually receiving treatment. I don't remember the accident, I just remember walking up in a hospital. My uncle is in the hospital right now, receiving treatment for his, I don't know, acne. I don't know if you go to hospital for what, but he broke a leg. He's in a hospital. Let's do that. I'm giving birth in a hospital, but you can also say I am at the hospital, but that will mean that you are just going something there, that you are not a patient. I'm visiting my uncle at the hospital, because you are at the hospital not as a patient receiving treatment. You're a guest visiting your uncle in college. My brother volunteered at a local hospital. Again, he was not a patient. This is why we use at the hospital. The same goes for school, museum, library, or many other institution. And we also use at with events. I'm at this Lady Gaga concert. Wow, listen to this. Okay guys, I hope it was not super confusing for you. Again, if you want to make sure you remember all the proposition, make sure to follow the link below and download the free capture of the grammar book. And if you feel like you are willing to invest in your education, just a little sum of money, 66 of the grammar book will be even cheaper for you because you are watching this video. And now let's check your test. You already know everything, but let's do it anyways. He live at 13 Long Street because we have the full address. We give the number and the street address. I'm visiting my grandma at the hospital. Why? Because I'm not a patient. She is a patient. My grandma is in the hospital receiving treatment, and I'm visiting her at the hospital because I'm not a patient. I like traveling on a train. You can also say I love traveling by train, but this is another topic of another video. Here, because we remember that we can stand up on the train, we use on. I like to travel on the train. So like, thank you guys so for watching this video. The links are below, and oh my god, if you are not yet subscribed this channel, hit subscribe button and If your friends are learning English, please share this video with them because I think it's super useful. I'm very humble. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye.